Well, I think the legacy, among other things, is it's really brought outstanding international tennis to the city of Washington and to a public park in a facility that's a very informal environment, very diverse group of people and players, and we just had some tremendous matches year after year because the weather's been so hot and it's hard, it's very competitive. And I think the players, for example, Connor's always wanted to play early. He wanted to play in the sun. He felt he had an edge. And some do and some don't. It just depends on how they feel. But the tournament itself has just grown like Topsy over the years. I mean, today we're in 187 countries in television, and we're in 140 hours of live television domestically with the Tennis Channel. I never dreamed that in 1969 when we had a clay court here and no locker rooms and no showers, and we were changing in tents, and we had no seats and no stands, and then we built the stadium in '89, and we're refurbishing it next year and upgrading it. So it's just been a long history of growth and getting bigger and bigger. But I think there's a very informal, casual attitude. People all walk around here. They talk to players that are practicing. They get autographs. You can't do that at the slams. It's too big. And they got bodyguards walking with the players naturally from the locker room to the courts. That's not what we do here. And so a person can get a photograph or an autograph with any leading player if they wait outside the door where he's coming out to walk down to the press or coming back. And I think that really has created an atmosphere of friendliness and informality. Well, if you looked up on that, on the awning there on the center court, we list all the winners and by year, and the names are phenomenal. Arthur, for example, Ashe played 11 times, only won it once in 1973. Noah won it, Lendl won it, Ed Berg. It goes on and on. Agassi won it 5 times. Andy Roddick won it 3 times. Del Potro, is a great player, was tremendous in the last decade, won it 4 times. So we've had phenomenal name winners of people who have gone on to win the Open, who have won Wimbledon, have all played here over the years. And that's been really one of the funs for me to see the great champions who have played elsewhere win here. Well, I think it'll continue to grow. We brought the women in about 7 years ago. The sponsor of the Citi Open said, 49% of their clients were women. They wanted a women's tournament, so we started that a few years ago. That's grown like crazy. We built a second stadium on the backside there, Grandstand number 2. It's now named the John Harris Grandstand after one of the co-founders with me, and that's where a lot of the matches are played for the women. And I think that's going to grow and make it a stronger combined event. And next year, we're going to come in and try to put in 6 more practice courts for the players, and we're going to enlarge the locker room facilities downstairs for the players. So that every year we spend more money trying to build a better event and a better facility. And I think the stadium is the next attack. I mean, we've got to upgrade some of the stadium and make it more competitive for other events around the world. I think he'd be very proud. I think he said to me when we started, he said, "Look, Donald, I really would like to see a lot of black faces in the crowd, which is why we picked this facility, this area, the park." And he said, "If that happens, I'll play, I'll support the tournament and play." He played 11 times, so he kept his end of the bargain. And if you see the audience out there, it's a very diverse group of people, all shapes, sizes, and colors. And I think that would have made him very, very pleased and very proud. This is the only nonprofit owner of a major tournament. It's a 500 series event. There are 13 of them in the world. This is a combined event, and the only person that owns it is not me. We work for a nonprofit group called the Washington Tennis and Education Foundation. They've been the owner since 1972, when I gave them the sanction and the date. We had created the event in '69, and they took it over in '72. And it's very unusual to have a charity, running the tournament. So if the profits are successful and we do a good job, it goes back into junior tennis in the Washington area. They run tennis programs for kids as young as 3 years old at 2 different facilities, one here and one in Southeast Washington, which is way downtown, which is where a lot of the kids are going to school. And so it's been a terrific, really a fun challenge for me to make it successful for all those kids that have followed from the programs.